Hey, what's going on everyone? Jesse here in the studio with another video for you guys. Today I'd like to talk about grids and sort of show you the effects of adding grids and even stacking grids onto your light when you're shooting portraits. Could be outside, could be here in studio. But I have here in my hands the MagMod Reflector XL, and I have a couple of grids here. I have a 40 and a 20 degree grid, which I'll show you in a second, as well as the Mag Sphere XL. We're going to be using those tools attached to a Explore 600 SE from Flashpoint at Adorama. I want to go through basically a series of shots, just me against this background here. Maria's going to do us the honor of taking those pictures, and we're going to basically showcase when we put the Reflector XL onto the light and add the sphere and nothing else. We're going to take a frame there, then we're going to slowly work our way up. We're going to add a 40 degree grid, take another shot. We're going to add a 20 degree grid in its place, take another shot, and then we're actually just going to stack both. And I think it's important to note that you'll see as we go through the sample images, I think our starting power is going to be around 1/128th of a second just for the Reflector XL and the sphere attached to this light. Typical settings in studio, I think we're at 1/160th or 1/200th of a second, and I believe ISO maybe around 250. But the more important thing is as you start adding grids to control your light more, you're going to notice that you need to up your power on your trigger to compensate. So the frame that we take with just the Reflector XL and the sphere is going to give us a different exposure than the one that we take once we add even a 40 degree grid, and then again the 20 degree grid, and then when we stack them all together. You do have to be mindful of the flash power. You probably have to up a little bit as you go along and add more control onto the light. But we'll start with just adding this to the 600. Typically, this can collapse down, it can extend out like a standard reflector. Now, I'm going to be pulling this out just because this particular light, the Explore 600 SE, the bulb itself sticks out rather far. So if I were to have the Reflector XL fully collapsed, I would not be able to add the grid properly because the bulb extends beyond the profile of the Reflector XL. So I will go ahead and attach that to our light there, and then I'm going to fully extend. Now that in itself, maybe we're going to give us a little bit more control in general. If I had shot with it fully collapsed, obviously the spread of light will be a little bit more widespread. But this reflector does help just a little bit, and we're going to add the Reflector XL there. I will have Maria now just take a quick snapshot of me, and I'll show you the results of that frame. Take off. Perfect. So we'll be able to see the exposure there. We want to make sure, obviously, skin tones, we're not blowing out any highlights. So we're in a good spot. And I'll go next with the 40 degree grid. Now on these grids here, there are some markings. So on one side, you do have where the magnets are. You do have a lightning bolt picture. And then on the opposite side, there is a designation of what degree grid you're using. So it says 40 degree here. Now the side that you want to attach to the Reflector XL is going to be that lightning bolt side, okay? That's going to give you the best connection. It will still connect the opposite way, but if you want the strongest connection, that's going to be the way to go. And then we'll go ahead and we'll take another frame here with the 40 degree grid attached. Now, you're going to notice that this frame is a little bit darker than the one before it. So I'm going to have Maria up the power just a little bit. I think we'll go from 1/128th to 1/64th, and we'll take another frame. Perfect. So you can see now we're getting back to the same type of exposure that we had in the previous example. So again, we had to up the power just a little bit to compensate for the gridded light. Now from the 40 degree, we'll move up to the 20 degree, which means we're getting tighter and tighter with our control here. I'm gonna find the lightning bolt, attach it on there. Perfect. Again, not changing our power settings. We're gonna take a frame. Perfect. And as you're gonna see again, we need to up the power once more. So we're gonna move on up to, I believe, a 132, if I'm not mistaken. Perfect. And now we're moving back. We're even again with our exposure from the first frame, but obviously the look is getting different because we're getting tighter. Finally, and I'm not sure Honestly, I think this is going to tighten things even further. I'm going to take the 40-degree grid and I'm going to put that on here first. And then on top of that, because they are stackable, you can keep adding more and more to get more control. So I'm going to add the 20-degree next. And then the sphere just to finish things off. Again, no power change. And then we're going to have to up that power just a little bit more, again, just to compensate for those grids being stacked on there. Excellent. So you should be able to see the progression from no grids at all the way through to double stacked grids. And, you know, obviously pay less attention to the aesthetic of the shot here. The background, everything is maybe not the most pleasing, but really I just wanted you to see how that spread of light changes throughout having no grids to having double grids, and also the fact that you do have to pay attention to your power settings as you add more and more control onto that light that you're using. So hope the video has been helpful. Again, leave some comments down below if you have any questions at all. Of course, you can do this with other mods, not just the Reflector XL. If you're using, say, you know, smaller strobes like the 200s, of course, you know, you can keep stacking grids, or you can even go further and use something like the snoot to really get that ultimate control. But MagMod makes great products. I hope you check them out. I'll put some information down below for you, and I look forward to seeing everyone on the next video. Take it easy.